Hey everybody, and welcome back to Bourbon Battles. My name's Joe. Hey, hopefully you follow along, hopefully you watch, but today we've got a special episode because these are always special. We've got a blind battle coming your way right after this. Okay, everybody, just like I said, we've got a blind battle coming your way today. Let me explain how this works in case you've never watched it before. So we've got a bucket over here, and we've got envelopes in it. Inside that envelope are two small sample bottles of two whiskeys. And there's also another envelope in there telling us what they are. So we're going to drink these blind. We're going to say this is better than that, and we're going to see what we come up with. And if you're wondering why do we do this blind, it's because here at Bourbon Battles, we don't give a rat's ass what's on the label. We just like good whiskey. Before I get into this barrel, I just want to tell you I'm still sipping on something that I just filmed. If you didn't watch one of our last episodes, it may even come out after this, our mail call. This was sent to us from Thad. This is a Starlight Ambarano finished cigar blend. Man, this is good. I can't get enough of this stuff. Thanks again, Thad, for that one. So let's get in here. So we just take a envelope out. Here's what we look like here. Get right into it. Two bottles, 1 and 2, and the answer key. So let's get into these right now. And yeah, see what we can see. Bam, 2 glasses. So if you're wondering why we like to drink them blind, we say we don't give a rat's ass what's on the label. We just like good whiskey, and that's absolutely accurate. But the reason for it is what we start to find is you don't have to spend a lot of money to get good stuff. Like if you go back through a bunch of our episodes, you'll find that Chad and I both picked Evan Williams Bottled and Bond over Blanton's. So if you're one of these guys that are running around crazy looking for stuff like Blanton's or birthday bourbon, right? This stuff gets beat by all kinds of things. That's what happens when you do it blind. You can start to pick this stuff apart and figure out what's worth the chase and what's not. What you find in a lot of cases is, man, there's so many good things out there that you can just go buy off the shelf, and that's what you need to be hunting. And of course, we love store picks. Go back a couple of videos, you'll see where we're, highlighting store picks out of not only Indiana but Maryland, and hope Connecticut's coming next. All right, let's check this out. Real similar on the nose. Number one's got a little more nutty stuff. You guys know what we're drinking, but we have no idea, and we're not going to know till we open that envelope. I feel like number one's probably Heaven Hill or Jim Beam. You guys know if I'm crazy or not. And we don't really do tasting notes, and there's a reason for that. And people ask me why we don't do tasting notes, and I've got a real simple response. They're stupid. Although, however, I am going through a class right now from Stave and Thief Society where you get this sensory kit and you start tasting through things and using the sensory kit to start developing your palate and learning what it is you're tasting. Now, I think that's fine, right? But I'm not going to talk about tasting notes still unless they're extremely prevalent. But once you get into this whiskey journey, if you get far enough down, something like that might be, important to take a look at. So if you're curious to how I like the Stave and Thief Society Executive Bourbon Steward class, shoot me an email at bourbonbattlesblind.com, and I'd be happy to discuss it with you. I'm not through it yet. Once I get through it, I'll be talking about it quite a bit more, and we'll do an episode on it. Very, very interesting there. They taste very different to me. I do think they're similar proof. By looking at them, they look like they're similar age. I think number 2 might be a little bit older. But the profiles for me are just so much different. But we don't have ties. Okay, for me, I'm going to pick number 1 as the winner. And I'm going to tell you why. It's because I like that profile that most of the time I get from Jim Beam and Heaven Hill, that nutty creaminess. That's why I pick it. Now, however, I will tell you I like both of these very well. So let's see what's what, who's who in the canoe. Whoop. That's number 2, which we did not pick. And I did pick number 1. So let's look at number 2 first. We did not pick, West Fork Whiskey Wheated Bourbon. So I'm going to grab that. This is interesting, worth talking about. If you are in the Indianapolis area, what's funny is I did not pick this out to be wheated. My guess is number 1's wheated as well. As I'm learning in that class, is a lot of times you get those nutty profiles in wheated bourbons. So West Fork Whiskey, this is very young, right? This is 2 years old. It's 90 proof, 73 corn, 17 rye. I'm sorry, 17 wheat, 10 rye. This is located up in Westfield, Indiana, central Indiana, just north of Indianapolis. Guys, this is 2-year-old whiskey. You know, I keep talking about it. Stuff outside of Kentucky. You know, we're drinking stuff out of Iowa and Texas, and we had some stuff yesterday in the last video we filmed out of Spirits of French Lick, some stuff out of Oregon, I believe. Guys, this stuff is getting some age to it. This stuff is great at 2 years old. What's it going to be like at 6 years old? I don't know. Only time will tell. But if I was a major distiller down in Kentucky, I don't know. Am I going to be worried about it? Probably not, but it's going to be very interesting. There's a lot of great stuff coming elsewhere. Oh, wow. Number 1, this really, really surprises me, and I think I can get to it fairly easily. Number 1 is another wheated bourbon. It's Jefferson's Ocean Aged at Sea. This happens to be Voyage 23, 90 proof. It's an undisclosed distillery, undisclosed mash bill, non-age stated. So if you've been around whiskey very long, you know the drill with this stuff, right? This is stuck on a ship, and it travels all around the world, and that's kind of their stick, right? Drink it blind. It did a lot better than I would have guessed it would. So that's why we do things blind, but the West Fork whiskey, the 2-year stuff out of Indiana, kind of really held its own over that stuff that, you know, a lot of people get all excited about. So, hey, try to do these things. Try to set this up. And if you really like the idea of drinking blind, you're going to want to check out bourbonbattlesblind.com. And there's a link to our Patreon page there. That's what we do. Guys will send this stuff out. They share these things. Send one out, get one back, and we do it all blind. It's really, really cool. So check that out. Because drinking bourbon is supposed to be fun. Do it with your friends. Do it responsibly. But whatever you do, don't drink and drive.
If you drink, don't drive to the watermelon crawl.